Chris, how about over at Quest Software? You are in a unique position there where you can stripe across all these agencies along with the private sector and really get a catbird seat of what's going on across the community. Give us a top line as to what you're observing.
Sure, for as my perch here in the catbird seat, um, you just give me flashbacks of Tweety Bird. But from a historical standpoint, zero trust is not a new concept. I mean, we've had it in other environments and operating systems, least privilege in the Unix platform, but even go further back. Think of DoD.
Yeah.
You just couldn't walk in and just walk into a missile silo, for instance. So we've had examples of zero trust in the past. I think the challenge has been moving those strategies and processes over to a broad end user community, so millions of users across the federal government. And what we found is the challenge of zero trust hasn't been really the technology. So we have great technology and we've excelled at that with our customers and clients. It's really the political side of getting those who are special or have been special for many years to say, you know what? You no longer have that kind of access to the systems. And I've seen that fight play out in admin teams, in NOCs, between the Windows people, the Linux people, the application folk and the database folk. And that's the part of zero trust that's difficult. So what we've seen progress on is the acceptance of what your role and your role-based access profile really should be, and then accepting the tools that are going to give you the ability to govern those platforms and those tier zero objects. So how do you know which admin is doing what, where, and when? And then also every end user, how do you understand exactly what data points or data access points that they're using? What devices are they using? And even for the developers, what APIs are they using and what security is around those APIs? I think that's one of the gaps sometimes in our zero trust architectures. We think so much of the access portion, that is, well, who are we going to grant access to? But once you grant access to, what about the other biological people that use the platform? So think of an application, that API, what is it calling? Think of all the mobile devices we have, all the applications that are downloaded to those devices, some public, some private, and what are those applications actually doing out there in the ether space, so to speak. So we've seen an embracing now of how do you govern that? How do you protect those tier zero assets? And how do you not get in the way of productivity? And I think that's another challenge we can probably have a whole show on, but just enveloping users with now the tools to make them not just secure, but also compliant with zero trust, so everyone can raise their hand and do really well on those scorecards for FITARA.